Hello, everybody. Welcome to the I Am IT Geek YouTube channel. My name is Shabazz Dan. As ever, I am the IT Geek. Welcome to what is episode 8 of the AVD series. And as ever, as I have been throughout the series, I'm joined by my good friend Simon. Hi, Simon.
Hi, how are we?
I'm good, mate. You're looking like you're very hot.
It's very hot
It's
in the
ridiculous, isn't
UK
it?
today. It's been 30 degrees. It's not nice.
Yeah. So at the time of this recording, it's very hot. As you can see, I'm in my basketball jersey and a cap. I didn't have the energy to. It's too hot to like gel my hair or comb my hair or anything.
Yeah, definitely.
So in the light of Milwaukee Bucks winning the NBA Finals as well, for all those basketball fans, I'm a basketball fan, so that's why I know that. I've got my basketball jersey on as well. Again, like I said, we're in episode 8. Today, Simon, we're actually going to be looking at application deployment.
Cool, okay.
So obviously we looked at host pools in last week's episode, and this week we're moving on to deploying applications. Before I get started though, I just want to do a quick shout out to our sponsor, Policy Pak. So a massive thank you to our sponsor for this video series, Policy Pak. Policy Pak is a modern desktop management platform for the anywhere workforce. Policy Pak provides a powerful policy creation, management and deployment framework that extends the policy management, security, automation and reporting capabilities found within Windows Active Directory, Unified Endpoint Management Solutions, MDM providers, virtualization platforms and cloud services. Policy Pak comes with packs, each with its own set of customizable policies that enables IT and teams to solve today's most significant desktop management challenges like remote work, Windows 10 management, GPO sprawl, ransomware, group policy management and more. Policy Pak lowers IT costs, increases security, improves compliance, reduces GPOs and puts the IT admin back in charge. Policy Pak has hundreds of customers, over 1 million deployed seats, is an Inc. 5000 recognised company and a G2 crowd high performer. For more information, visit www.policypak.com and follow them on their Twitter page @PolicyPak. Yeah, so again, thank you very much to the sponsor for this whole series, which is Policy Pak. If you've not done already, by all means, go check them out. So Simon, we mentioned in the last episode, if you remember, around the competition that we're doing.
Yes.
We've had a few. So I put it on social media today. Actually, I had a little picture of the actual t-shirts. I've got them here. So just in case anyone thought they weren't real. So
Hey.
that's my little logo there with AVD Zero to Hero, and then little hashtag I Am IT Geek. So there are 10 of those up for grabs. Simon, as a special remembrance, mate, of this actual
Yeah.
series, I've actually got a hoodie that I got made for you.
Oh, no,
It seems-
mate, that's amazing. Thank you. To commemorate
really-
the series. That's
Exactly.
brilliant.
It seems very not appropriate in the current climate, but
Oh, my goodness. But the thought counts, though, so thank you.
I will get these to you, mate. So I've got a hoodie as well. My plan was that we'd actually wear them in some of the recordings, but there's no way I'm wearing it in this roasting weather. Like I said,
No,
I'm uncomfortable in
definitely.
this vest top. So excellent. So let's crack on with this episode. As I mentioned, what I'll do is towards the end of the episode, I'll reiterate what people can do to win one of the t-shirts. So there's 10 up for grabs. But for now, let's crack on. So what I'll do is I'm just gonna go through a bit of theory again, mate. So there are two parts to this episode, I suppose. There's going to be a bit theoretical. One is going to be sort of going into the actual portal and deploying some applications as well. So I'll just switch on to the presentation and then we'll start going through some theory.
Sure.
So here we are, Simon. Just wanted to go through a couple of theoretical points around application publishing within Azure Virtual Desktop. So as ever, there's myself and Simon, and this is episode 8, as I mentioned, and we're looking at application publishing. So Simon, we've got three. I suppose there's a few different methods to deploying publishing applications in AVD. The three that we're going to focus on are publishing from the image, and there's two different methods you can do within that, and there's MSIX app attach. And both of those you create within an application group. So you might remember when we talked about host pools last week, we said there are two types of application groups. There are desktop application group, and there's a remote app application group. So you essentially you publish your applications within a remote app application group. So you can publish apps from the image, and there's two methods of doing that. We're going to have a closer look at that in our demo, where we actually go into the portal and deploy that. So you can do that from a file path or from the start menu of the actual image. What I wanted to talk a little bit more about, so what we're not going to do is we're not going to demo MXIS App Attach in this episode. So I thought we'd talk about it a bit more, because it's a bit more in depth, it's a bit more complicated than your traditional publishing from the image. And there's a little more, you need to be a bit more involved and have a bit more kind of resources for it. So first of all, sort of quickly discuss, what is MXIS App Attach? So essentially, it's the ability to stage and register your applications to users, or on the fly via attaching a disk, or you can do a CIM image, without installing or having to register the MXIS locally to your host. So rather than it being, so that is again with the publishing from the image, you're publishing it from your Windows image, so only applications that are in your golden image that you've published to your session host are available. This is a bit different, whereas if it attaches an image of that application to your session host. Okay, so it's essentially staging and registering apps for your users. So it's another way of, I suppose, saying it is it's containerized application. So essentially you're creating a separation between your user data, the OS, and the applications by using the MXIS containers. And they're stored on file shares, which we'll go into in a second as well. It removes the need for repackaging when delivering applications dynamically. So it's again, you don't have to think about traditional SCCM. You have to package the application. It's not like that. It takes all that away. So it's dynamic application publishing essentially. Again, similar to FS Logics, this reduces logon times. You get much quicker logon times, so you don't have to have tens and thousands of hundreds of apps installed on your image. You can have sort of literally your sort of base applications, stuff like Office, Adobe Reader, stuff like that, on your image, which are they're very low key
business
applications.
Apps.
Exactly. Line of business apps, core business apps, and then you can use MXIS App Attach to deploy the more hefty ones. Again, it just helps with better login times and quicker login times.
Yeah, cool.
The final thing is, I suppose, it's less infrastructure as well. So again, you're not having to have. Again, you might have where, for example, different departments might have different core business apps. Finance might need Sage. Marketing might need some of the Adobe Photoshop or something like that. With this, you can literally just give them all one image and then just publish through MXIS App Attach their more business critical applications. And again, you don't need a lot of infrastructure. You need some file shares, which you can publish in Azure. You don't need like servers to host the applications, none of that stuff. It's all a lot more reduced infrastructure, less infrastructure. So, like any service within Azure, it has some prerequisites. You need to have certain things in place before you can utilize it. So, we think about you need an AVD host pool first of all, and it has to be one with a session host in it as well, at least. So you have to have at least one session host published within your host pool. So again, you have to have a desktop remote app or desktop application group. Sorry. There's an MXIS application tool which you can install on your. I suppose you have to install it on a different device, so on your laptop or your VM, but not one that uses a session host, because you essentially use this application to package the actual MXIS file, as it were, the image or the MXIS image, which is again is one of the third prerequisite there. You need an MXIS image, and that's created from the packaging tool. And again, what I'll do is in the description, I'll put some links to some really good blogs and articles, and even some good YouTube videos around how to do that. I mentioned file shares a few times, so within AVD, Azure Files is the perfect service for this sort of for this, because you can essentially upload your image and your again, your VHD file to your file share, and then that can get attached to your session host as and when you use the application. File prerequisite is a certificate. You need to have some sort of certificate. Now you can use self-signed for quite a few applications. So it can be a third party kind of publicly facing one, or it can be a sort of self-signed certificate as well. So that's just a very brief overview of MXIS App Attach. I said that there's a lot more involved with it. It's not as straightforward as your image deploying an application from an image, which is what we're going to look at now. So have you got any questions around that, or is it something you used before, or?
No, I've done the traditional stuff with like MDTS, CCM, so I know that application packaging can be a nightmare trying to find all those switches. But it's all part and fun of the game. So yeah, no, it seems like it's come on a long way from back in those days.
It has, and again, this is, even though there's a lot of preparation, let's say prerequisites, like you said, you need to download the tool, create the image, provision the file shares, and create the certificate and stuff like that. The actual deployment of the application is done through the AVD. Still making that same mistake. The AVD platform, and again, I will quickly show you that when we go in. So what we'll do is, without further ado, we'll jump into the portal and start looking at some of the options we have around application deployment. Okay, Simon.
Cool. Yeah, let's go.
So here we are, Simon, in the Azure Virtual Desktop Service portal within Microsoft Azure. So this is a different tenant from what we've been using. I know we've been using the Am IT Geek one, but I wanted to show another one where I've got some more resources published. So if we click on application groups, as we can see here, we should have one desktop application group as soon as it loads. There we go. That took a bit of time. So as you can see here, we've got a desktop application group. We have a certain amount of VMs in. So this one's got 3 VMs in, I believe. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new application group. So as normal, you've got to select your subscription and your resource group. And then here we're going to select our host pool. So here again, if we look here, we've got an option of either remote app or desktop. Because we've already selected our host pool, obviously desktop gets grayed out. So remote app is ticked by default. Let's just give it a name. IT Geek AP for application group. And next let's click on applications. So here is where we want to add applications. Now, if we click on add, and the application source here, we have, like I said, 3 different options from the start menu, from the file path, or MXIS app package. So this is when, if we were doing MXIS app package here, this would be like the last point. So we've done all our prerequisites. We've created our image through the the packaging tool. We've got our file shares, all that sort of stuff's already done, and we're ready to create the package. And this is how we do it.
Cool.
Obviously, for the purpose of our demo, we're just going to do one. So we've got 2 options. I can use start menu or file path. Start menu, as it sounds, mate, essentially it lets you pick from any applications that are installed on the file on the actual start menu. So we've got 7-zip. We've got these are all that are installed on our
host pool image.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to go with a nice simple one here. Microsoft Word. Where is it? There we go. And it puts in the application path and everything like that. Don't require any command line. Just if we were to go with file path, again, we'd have to put in the file path of.
So it'd be like manually.
Yeah, so that's the 7-zip one. So this is from the actual. So again, if you have the certain applications like, I think it's Google Chrome, that puts stuff in program data. So again, it's just the file path of the application where it's installed. So again, for the purpose of this demo, let's just go with start menu. And again, you can put in a description if you like. You can give the application whatever name you want. Display name. Obviously, there's Word. I could just put Microsoft ahead of it. And again, because we're just publishing it from the start menu, we don't need any. We don't want anything to start before it, or we don't want any command line before it. So click on save. So now that is, again, I could add multiple applications. So essentially I could, for example, create an application group for Office.
Yeah.
And I could add all the Office apps in here. And I could, so if we go to the next one, we've got assignments. I could assign that to a group of people. Yeah. So if we just click on, let's just assign this to good old Bruce Wayne, who's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I use Bruce Wayne in all my tenants. So we've given a user access to that for now, but we can do like a group if we wanted to. Obviously, best practice recommendations normally a group.
Yeah.
Now here we can register this application group to the workspace. The workspace we created way back when we created the application group. Click on yes, we can just select which workspace. So we've already got LDS. We've already got one here. So we'll just essentially register it to that workspace. And here, as normal, you can put tags in for different departments and give them a value like marketing or IT or finance or whatever. And then we review and create. So I'm just going to do a validation. Once this is created, Simon, what I'd like to do is I'm going to jump onto my virtual machine that I've got, my Windows 10 one, where I've got my remote desktop app.
Yeah.
We'll log in with Bruce Wayne, and then I'll show you what he as a user would see when you've got an application deployed to him, all right?
Yeah, cool.
So there we go. This is deployed. It took a few seconds. Very straightforward, very easy as you can see. Before we skip over to the Windows 10 VM that I've got, have you got any questions?
No, seems all pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll skip off this window and I'll go to my Windows 10 VM. So as you can see, we're here in our virtual machine and we've got the remote desktop app again, as we did last week. So whereas before we had our Am IT Geek host pool, here we've got a different host pool because I'm in a different tenant. But it's the same sort of premise. And if I just go down here, rather than last week we had our session desktop application, here we've got Microsoft Word because that's what we've given our demo user access to. And even if we just click on details here, it'll tell us. Look, it tells us what the tenant name is. It tells us we've got demo user 1. It tells us what they've got what app. So if I was to add more applications in here, be it through the file share or through the start menu or even through MXIS app attach, they'd appear here. And then it's a simple case of double clicking it. And again, because we're launching, in this case, we're launching it from the session host itself. Even through the file path or the start menu, you would have to put in your username and password again. Much like we did with, if you remember when we connected to the actual session host through a desktop application group, we had to put our username and password in, unless you've got ADS for the single sign-on at the moment. But so all you do is you double-click that, username, password, and it's essentially just launch Word for you, launch your application.
Cool.
So that's the sort of what I was to show you the options available in the portal. It's I suppose it's been quite a short video with this one because again there's not a lot to application publishing. Again, you can publish applications through your traditional SCCM and Intune. This isn't to say you can't do that. You can do that. But I wanted to show you the AVD specific sort of ways and talk a little bit about those. So I mean, have you got any questions around that?
No, it's like you say. It's all pretty straightforward. I think I'll go away, have a play in my tenant, and see how I get on.
Excellent. Before we do our closing little statement, I do want to just share a little about the competition that we're doing. So if you bear with me, Sam, we'll just explain to our viewers how they can win a t-shirt.
Go for it.
So Simon, just like to give our viewers who are watching a little insight into how they can actually win a t-shirt. So again, just to show that is a t-shirt. It's got the Am IT Geek logo, and then you've got AVD #AVD Zero to Hero, and then on the back we've got Am IT Geek #Am IT Geek. So there's 10 of those to give away. If you want to take part, you want to try and win one. Essentially, you can enter by going on to obviously watching one of our videos. Comment on your favorite one. So within YouTube, comment on your favorite video. Just say this is my favorite video. #AVD Zero to Hero. You have to be a subscriber, so you can't just comment on it and not be a subscriber. So you have to be a subscriber. And what myself and Simon will then do is pick out 10 at random, and then they'll be the 10 winners of the t-shirts. So there is obviously an end date to the competition. Again, the first week of August, so we've got a couple of weeks, so you do have a couple of weeks to enter. So again, I'll keep on, me and Simon on our socials will keep on plugging the competition. So do enter, just a bit of fun. I thought it'd be nice to, me and Simon thought it'd be nice to give away some swag.
Definitely.
Hopefully, when it cools down a bit, me and Simon will wear our hoodies. But until it cools down, we are not wearing our hoodies.
Not today. So, definitely.
Yeah, so that's a short and sweet episode, Simon. Just wanted to do a little bit on application publishing.
Yeah.
In next week's episode, what we're going to cover is securing Azure Virtual Desktop.
Okay.
And as a service, it's already very secure because you take away a lot of that sort of access to the broker and the gateway, firewall rules and all that sort of stuff, all controlled by Microsoft. I want to kind of look at the identity security. So what we're going to hopefully show is securing AVD via MFA and conditional access.
Yeah.
So that'll be quite a good, interesting one. So thank you again, Simon, and thank
you
for
watching.
You. Please do subscribe, everyone. Please like and give us a comment. We're always very happy to see the feedback. And again, thank you for all your support. But until next time, thank you and goodbye.
Cheers.